allô. Le coq de l'école, le coq de l'école, allô, allô. Le coq de l'école, le coq de l'école, allô, allô.
2016, stand up. Get that dirt off your shoulder. This is your boy Track Lacer, and I'm coming to give you the top television show of 2016. And I felt that it was Atlanta. And it's one thing to just tell you that Atlanta was the best TV show of 2016. So instead of just telling you that, I figure it's up to me to support it and tell you why it was the best show of 2016. All right, so number one, the Boondocks. What does that mean? What does the Boondocks have to do with Atlanta being the TV show of the year? It has everything to do with it because not since the Boondocks or since the Dave Chappelle show has a television show dealt with black pain, black suffering in a way that can simultaneously make you laugh and be critical of both us as a people for our shortcomings and also of racism. And as we go through 2016 and one side says Black Lives Matter and then the other side says all lives matter, it kind of points out the hypocrisy of not understanding what it meant when we were saying Black Lives Matter and turning it into a terrorist group when you just saying that we just got terrorized, you know. So not since Aaron Magruder, who did the Boondocks, are you taking something so personal to us as black people, so painful, and kind of making fun of it and criticizing it at the same time. Um, Before I move on to the second reason, maybe I should. It would help if I gave one good example of that. Okay, I think one good example is the episode when his girl, got fired from her job. So she's trying to, I guess, kind of kick it with the big wigs of society. And so they go to this, not a house party, but it's a mansion party. And she's trying to impress, be there with the other socialites, meet some elite people. But in the process of doing that, Donald Glover's cousin, Paperboy, who he manages in the TV show, his girl's friend who had all the connections just kind of took a wet crap on Paperboy and rap music and basically how she feels rap music is degenerative. And Paperboy stopped fronting and going along and just snapped and said, "You fake, your husband is fake, everybody is in here is fake. Yeah, my cousin is a rapper slash drug dealer, so what? Yeah, and I'm his manager, now what?" And his girl was so appreciative and turned on that he did that they pulled the car over to the side of the road, and then you know what happens. We all grown people. But it said a lot that he stood on who he really was and where he came from, even if it jeopardized, his girl's opportunity. So the Boondocks, we all miss the Boondocks. The Boondocks used to really bring that real cultural criticism of both our negative behaviors and the racist behaviors that sometimes attack us. And I just salute Donald Glover for your ability to do that with this movie. So I got to speed it up because just off reason number one, I already spent 4 minutes. Okay, number two, let's see what else your boy Track Lacer got here. Number two, his mixed girlfriend. Now, obviously, y'all looking at me like a high yellow dude. Like, yeah, why'd you go there and why you say that? Well, it's not that I prefer light skinned women or mixed women over the rest of the sisters. If any of y'all know me personally, y'all definitely know that that's not the case, but we'll get off of that. I just say that because I really don't know her name as an actress, and I almost think that it's tighter that I just give her all the props in the world without even knowing her name. Maybe one of y'all in the comments section to tell me her name. But the thing that was interesting to me about her is if any of y'all ever watched the TV show The Have and Have Nots, it's a beautiful, beautiful sister that's originally from Guyana, South America, by way of the Bronx or Brooklyn, one of the two. Now, I can't remember her name either, but she played the social worker that Candace and her girl beat up. I actually got a chance to see her as a test screen, and that would have been Ern's girl on the TV show, but they chose this sister. And, this sister kind of got the wild, like mixed girl kind of natural hair that's kind of done sometimes, but most of the time don't done. She kind of got the long, thick eyebrows that always look like she's mad unless she smiles. And her acting is like so subtle. It's believable. You can see at times that she's disgusted with Ern, but other times appreciates him. And she isn't very petty. It's just one of the more down to earth portrayals of a black female that you've seen on television in a long time. And she really at times carries the show. And what makes her so cool is she doesn't even, I mean, Paperboy probably has more lines of dialogue in this season than she did, but whenever she says something, it seems to have an impact. And I think of all the characters on Atlanta, when she's hurt, when she's angry, or when she's happy, it just comes off. So salute to you, and make sure y'all type down what her name is in the comments section. All right, final reason Atlanta is the television show of the year. Number 3. Let me see. Yep. Made my mama cry. Now, if you say Track Lacer, what you mean made your mama cry? So that makes it one of the best shows. What I mean by that is that I showed her, I want to say I showed her 4 or 5 episodes in total. I think there was only 8 episodes. So I want to say I showed her 5. But we watched 3 in one night. And the episode when his girl got fired because she was smoking weed. And when she first got to the school, she's like a teacher. So one of the other teachers told her that one of the little boys was just OC, just out of control during the day. And she had mentioned that he had like white face paint on. And she kind of frowned. She's like, what was she doing with white face? She's like, well, I want to explain all that right now, but she was more concerned about the drug test, so she really wasn't sweating. But man, when I tell you that after she got fired and found out she had to still supervise in school suspension, she sat in a chair and looked up, and that little fat Negro was just sitting up there smiling like this with the white face on. Man, my mama was screaming, crying, laughing. And that's just kind of a thing with me and her. We both like crazy people. It's just kind of an inside thing with us. Don't strike me down or anything. I actually work with people, youth and adults who have special needs, but there's a certain level of freedom for people that's just out there and crazy, and I always get a kick out of that. And the other episode that they did where they just did a satire, it was like a CNN like show, and the brother was riding around in the car, and they set us up real good because it was like the Dodge Charger. It was saying something about like that's the official symbol of black manhood, the Dodge Charger. And then when they finally get to the last little vignette of it, he don't got no drawers on and he pumping gas. And, my mom was crying off of that part. So, not to spoil it, you have to watch that episode to understand why my mom thought it was so funny and why I thought it was so funny. But let me just say overall that Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, was very ingenious with this TV show in terms of how subtle he was with the humor, the way he didn't explain certain things. In the final episode, when it comes out that he actually wanted that key that was in his jacket because he had joked around the whole year about kind of being halfway homeless when he wasn't staying the night with his girl. And then to come to find out he actually sleeps not in a shelter, but in his storage. He had like a little bed laid out, and basically that's how he survived. And if you think about it, $500 a month is the cheapest that you can find for rent anywhere in the United States. So he basically is taking a situation where he might be paying 120 or 150 a month for storage, and that's how he's surviving. That's how he's living. And that was a harsh thing, but the whole season it just did a good job of kind of pointing out some of the more harsher realities, like mental health issue, how the brother in jail had a mental health issue. And so Donald Glover did a great acting job. Just the thought he put into the concept of how he was writing the show. A lot of people don't know that he's from Atlanta, so you kind of be tripped off that because of how nerdy and self-conscious he is. But I guess it's also good that he's projecting the city like that because, as y'all know, I went to college there at Clark Atlanta University, and just not everybody is from the projects or from the hood and just talks with the southern, like, drawn out accent. Like, Atlanta is not just all just everybody is monolithic, just one type of person. And that's including the people that's from there. Not all the people that's from there had this exaggerated southern accent, as with Donald Glover. And let me wrap this video up and say I also really salute the character of Paperboy, of how they portrayed him, because yeah, he's a rapper, which is stereotypical. It's almost like, including myself, every black male over the age of 25 either raps or has put out an album before. And then double stereotype. He raps, but he sells weed. So he's a drug dealer slash rapper. But the one thing that you would like about Paperboy is when he shot the dude in the first episode, he was never proud of the fact that he did that. He never made a song bragging about how he did that. He always got uncomfortable when somebody brought that up that he did that. So that's showing a different level of responsibility, of accountability, and in some ways you could just say just human decency. Um, and then also in the final episode when he broke Paperboy off with the commission of what he got for helping him get the club appearance or the show or whatever it was as his manager. I want to say it was either $1,000 or $2,000. It was kind of hard to tell, but there was just a sense of honor that I appreciate the work that you did for me, and yeah, here's your money. Like, is it? He don't know how managers work. This is the first person that ever approached him to manage him. But yeah, don't managers get 10%? Here you go. And if anybody that's listening to this, especially if any producers out here, y'all know if you're a producer on the local scene, the local rappers don't even want to pay you for your beats. They always want to tell you, oh, well, I'm just hot. Like, this is a favor for you to have my vocals over your beats. This gonna blow you up. That's what they always want to tell you. So, some producers get more satisfaction just giving their beats out for free to people that they don't know in other cities and other states and other countries. than to deal with the people right in their own city that don't want to appreciate the work that they put in. So the very fact that Paperboy paid him that money really speaks to the struggle of trying to be an independent artist, but appreciating the people that are actually there. So, best show on TV this year, man. Salute to Donald Glover. Salute to the city of Atlanta. Can't wait to see the next season. See what you guys gonna come up with, and I hope that the show sparks something inside of Dave Chappelle and Aaron Magruder, the creator of the Boondocks, to go back to what you used to do and what you used to bring to the community. Because you can best believe that Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, was inspired by you to think of the things that he thought of with Atlanta. Track Laces 2016 Television Show of the Year.